Buddha said, "You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger." And I think a lot of us who have lost our temper at one point or another certainly ended up learning the hard way that this is true. You will definitely pay a consequence for losing your cool. Hi, my name is Sylvia, and I'm here to teach you about Buddhism. There are 3 points that I'd like to touch on. The first being, how does Buddhism explain life and death? The second being, what sacred writings does this religion honor? And then finally, what religious rituals does this religion practice? Just to start off with life, what is the purpose and what values are upheld? With Buddhism, there are 4 noble truths to life. Life is suffering. Suffering is caused by craving, self-desire, attachment, anger, envy, greed, and ignorance. And then because of suffering, it has a cause, and it can be eliminated. Those roots there, like I said, self-desire, attachment, those can be eliminated. And then there's an explanation and prescription for the end of suffering and a path to nirvana or spiritual enlightenment. The path that Buddha has set forward for us to be able to achieve this enlightenment or nirvana would be having the right view, the right purpose, the right speech, the right action, the right livelihood, the right efforts, the right mindfulness, and finally, the right concentration. So really just saying, with everything that you do, with how you see life, how you talk, how you live, your occupation, anything, make sure that you are doing things correctly in the way that will make you the most honest person, the best person that you can be. You want to be very self-aware, and that's a big part of Buddhism, is self-control and knowing who you are. And that's very important to living the Buddhist path of life. Then, with death, what happens when a person dies? The interesting thing that I like about Buddhism is that death is kind of always around. It's a big central theme to Buddhism. And when I say that, I mean you have to accept that you are going to die and that you need to live in the right now. You need to be happy now because there's nothing after this. When someone dies who is a Buddhist, they're generally cremated. And when they die, the point is to be at peace with yourself and at peace with who you are and what you've done in life. And just knowing that death is unavoidable and achieving the peace at that time, that makes it so you'll have a good rebirth or afterlife, a reincarnation of sorts. With death, like I was saying, it ends one chapter, it ends your life, but it creates another. They do believe in reincarnation, not necessarily always being a person, but a different form of reincarnation, like you might be something else somehow. And then also with death, they do reject trying to cling to life. Trying to hold on, being scared of dying, that's very anti-Buddhism. You have to accept it so that you can live in the now and the present. And then additionally, with death, suicide is not the answer. Suicide is believed to come out of fear, anxiety, and depression. And it's not what they want for you. They want you to be happy and want to live in the moment. That's very important to living your life purposefully and also being okay with knowing that at the end of your life, that's the end of your life, and being aware and happy that you had the successes and the great life and purpose that you had achieved while you were alive. As far as sacred writings that Buddhism honors, there was 3 big ones that I had found. The first one was the Triptaka. It is the earliest collection of Buddhist teachings, and with the Triptaka, it was written on long, narrow leaves bound together originally. The second one was the Mahayana Sutras, and it reveres the Triptaka as sacred text, but adds to the sutras. And there's over 2,000 of these sutras, and they were all written between 200 BCE and 200 CE. And then finally, there's the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And with this, it's a Tibetan text that Westerners like ourselves are going to be more generally aware of than the other writings. With the Book of the Dead, it explains what happens while you're dying, the process of death, and then through the cycling of rebirth. So it just kind of gives you an example of what you're in for when it is your time to pass on. And then finally, what religious rituals does this religion practice? A big religious ritual is really more for yourself in this religion. It's meditation. It's getting to know yourself, finding inner peace, focus, calmness, really acceptance of the world around you, and learning how to live in the moment. That's the most important part of meditation, is bringing yourself back, slowing down your mind, being calm. And that's really what meditation is trying to teach you, and that's why it's so very important. Because with death being very prevalent, they want you to be able to live in the now, and that's what meditation brings. With Buddhism, they do not believe in a God. Buddha said he was not God. He was just a very wise man. So with that, they don't really do prayer. With that, I would just go back to meditation to get to know yourself, the self-experience. Other rituals, not really a ritual, but a practice would be the best person that you can be. It's all about finding yourself, finding the inner peace for whatever you want that to be. And then also, look at nothing but your own efforts for salvation. Don't look at what Craig is doing. Don't look at what your pets are doing. Look at yourself and bring yourself peace, because that's going to do the most for you, and you won't find it elsewhere. Also, there are 4 things that Buddha wants us to practice as well: as benevolence, compassion, joy in others' joy, which is really important. Learning how to be truly happy for someone is so important. And then finally, equanimity, which is I apologize. I had to look this up because I didn't know what the word meant. So equanimity is mental calmness, composure, even temper in hard situations. And if you're anything like me, I have a short temper, and I'm aware of it, and it's really bad. So that's kind of what meditation will help bring you that calmness, that inner peace, and it's really important. And I think that you will find a lot of happiness with not just who you are in yourself, but with how you view the world, if you're able to focus on those 4 traits as well. Well, in summation, just to quote Buddha again, no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. And that's just, again, such a great focus on find inner peace. Be happy with yourself. Live in the moment, and you will find your nirvana. Thank you. Have a great day.